A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 25th March 2020. Today is Wednesday. One of the most important news item of the day is 21 days lockdown has been announced. It has already started from 12 a.m. This morning, 25th March, and it is going to last till 14th April. It may be extended as well. We have to prepare ourselves mentally, physically. But one thing that is important, and I want you guys as well to spread this message to other people, that shops dealing with food, groceries, medicines, all these things, medical stores, right, they will remain open. You'll be able to access ATMs, print and electronic media will run normally. Delivery of food, pharmaceuticals and medical equipment through e-commerce is allowed. Telecom services, IT services are available and they will remain open. Petrol pumps are also working, and power and electricity services are also available and they will stay on. So there is nothing to worry about, right? As far as we stay indoors, there is nothing to worry about. Yes, if we step out, then that's going to create lots and lots of problems. Problems of such gravity that I don't think so we are capable to handle. And this is one of the most important thing for every one of us to understand. This is a big responsibility on all of us. Everyone, please make sure that you pass this message to other people as well, that we have to stay indoor. We cannot take this thing lightly. See, we don't have any written theories. We don't have any sort of practical experience. We don't have that much experience. When I say we, I'm talking about humanity. What we are doing now is this lockdown is basically, this is the only thing that we can do. Lockdown will bring this, this probability of infection. It will basically, this probability will nosedive if we stay indoor, isn't it? And we are learning these things from the mistakes that are made by other countries. Some developed countries, they made big mistakes, and we have some positive results as well from those countries who have followed this lockdown. So it is very important. And look at this line from Prime Minister, that if we are not able to adhere to this lockdown sincerely for 21 days, believe me, India will go back 21 years. So this is a big warning coming directly from Prime Minister. So we should take it very seriously. Government has also allotted 15,000 crore rupees for the purchase of personal protection equipment and healthcare workers, setting up testing laboratories and quarantine centers. We have one more news item, and that's a good news, that made in India testing kits are now, with this kit by Pune-based MyLab, has become the first indigenous manufacturer to be approved for deploying its kit for COVID-19 testing. Yesterday we were talking about testing. Remember, I told you, and we have talked about this thing, that testing is one of the most important things. There are so many people. We need to test them as well. And, it should be available, accessible, and it should be free of cost, right? So this is one of the one, because if we don't know how many people are affected by it, then we won't be able to control them, isn't it? So testing is, and this is a good news, that private players are coming out. So this is the first one, but I'm sure now the mass production will take place. And then we will have this testing facilities or testing kit available at various different nooks and corners of our country. We have some important articles on our table. The race to find a cure for COVID-19, the first one that we are going to discuss. Then we are going to talk about this two editorials, and then we are going to talk about this one, this involving ironing out wrinkles in India's pandemic response. This article is sharing with us some important facts about our medical capacity. Let's crack on. But before that, I would like to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses, which are available for various different competitive exams. They are designed by best faculties of our country. All information associated with our pen drive and tablet courses are available on our website, StudyIQ.com. Dear friends, to download the PDF of today's lecture, do check out my Telegram channel. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students, share the PDF of this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's start with some basic facts, basic yet important facts about novel coronavirus. It has infected more than 4 lakh people worldwide, and it has, means 17,000 plus people have succumbed to this coronavirus. One more interesting thing about its epicenter. You know what epicenter is, right? The main birthplace of this coronavirus is Wuhan district of China. But this epicenter is not limited. Means, of course, the initial birth took place in this Wuhan district, but now we are finding epicenter in various different places like Italy, Spain, France, Germany, UK, USA. And all these countries are some of the most, you can say, advanced, most developed countries in the world. They are rich nations. And these rich nations with their most advanced health systems, they have also come under tremendous pressure and seem unable to deal with this health crisis. So just imagine if we don't stay indoor, this is going to be the biggest thing that has ever happened with our country, right? So we have to take it very seriously. The biggest problem with coronavirus at present is that we don't have any particular therapy or vaccine. And the priority of the whole world at present is, of course, to create a vaccine and drug therapies through which we can protect ourselves and we can cure COVID-19. But it's not that easy. Creating a medicine or a vaccine or a cure, right? You need to look after so many other aspects as well, like safety issue is one of the most important thing. I'm going to talk about some safety things as well as we move ahead. But if you have a drug, just imagine that you have a medicine that will cure your COVID-19, but that will damage your kidneys. Then, of course, you will not take that drug, isn't it? That is not a drug, in fact. That will cure one thing, but that will create problems with other items or with other organs. So we don't need those sort of things, and we need a proper safe drug or safe vaccine that can handle this COVID-19, that can kill coronavirus with minimum or zero side effect. And this lockdown will help us get some more time in our hand. And this is the reason why lockdown is important. We need, on one side, we need to speed up our invention or this whole research about this COVID-19 medicine. At the same time, we have to decrease its spread. And this can be done by lockdown. Now, good news coming from various different parts of the world. Phase 1 safety trials are being conducted by National Institute of Health and a company called Moderna. Then you have news coming from China, that China's Academy of Military Medical Sciences and CanSino Biologics. They have also started testing this medicine on volunteers. And in our country, the Serum Institute of India has also recently announced its readiness to start safety trials following animal experiments. Now, how long the acquired immunity in humans will last is another important question. That if you are given a shot of this medicine, then for how long it will protect you, that's question number one. One more thing that we have to understand is reinfection. Now, this article is a bit more for if you go through this whole article, then you will find that this article is written by an expert, and I believe this article is written for medical community, but for laymen, for all of us, right? There are a few things, bits and pieces that are important for our overall understanding, and of course, it will help you with your understanding about coronavirus and the things associated with developing medicine. So I'm not going into technical things of making a medicine and like technical things that are discussed here in this article. I'm trying to be in this more general studies zone. So reinfection is again something that this pharmaceutical companies, they have to look for, or this medicine producers or this inventors, right? They will have to check this whether it can protect us from reinfection, or there are chances of reinfection and things. As I told you already, that a medicine or a vaccination, or we need a type of vaccination that does not lead to disease enhancement, that it will cure your COVID-19, but it may create some other problems. So we don't need that. And one thing that we have to keep in mind is that minimum, we need 1 year. It will take nearly 1 year for this medicine to come out. There are a few things that people are trying at present, medical community is trying, but still understand this thing that it's not that within a week or 10 days or in a month's time we will get this medicine. It may take 1 year as well, minimum 1 year. That's what various different articles are saying. But let's hope for a miracle, right? Let's hope for it. In a welcome move, the WHO has announced clinical trials called Solidarity Project. Very important information. Who started Solidarity Project? It is WHO, World Health Organization. Now, under this Solidarity Project, there are 4 drugs or drug combination will be tested. So you have this anti-Ebola drug, you have remdesivir, chloroquine, anti-HIV drug, and ritonavir and lopinavir. So combination of all these things will be tried, and we have to note them down as well, and if it works then that's a good thing. But the most important thing, the most heartening thing is that scientists in academic as well as industrial world, they are coming together. There is a bridge where they are meeting, and they are working with each other. So that's a very interesting, that's a very good thing. And we have to understand that this battle between pathogens and humans has been going on for a very long period of time, but it is very important that we win this time as well. Moving on to next item. This one is about Shivraj Singh Chauhan. You can see his photo on your screen. He is the new Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. He is a very famous face in Madhya Pradesh. He has been Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh earlier on as well. So I have a question for you. Can you give me how many times has become Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh? Just don't give me the figure. I want his tenure as well. So from, let's say, 2000 to 2001, or maybe 2000 to 2005. This is just an example. So you have to 1, 2, 3 and 4 in that way. 4, 5, whatever, 6 times. I'm not sure how many times he has become the Chief Minister. This is a question for you to find out. Now, there are 24 seats that are vacant at present in Madhya Pradesh State Assembly. At present, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, he has proved his majority, so he's sworn in as a Chief Minister. Now, the first thing that he has said after becoming Chief Minister, he has, of course, the whole government machinery will be engaged in dealing with this, tackling with this coronavirus crisis. And he has asked all MLAs as well to leave immediately for their constituencies and to take lead in managing the crisis. So as I told you, there are 24 seats that are vacant. So what will happen with those seats? Re-election, or not re-election, the right word is by-election. By-election will take place, but of course, coronavirus is there. So it's not going to happen in near future. It may take more time, maybe a few months' time. Till then, Madhya Pradesh is going to have Shivraj Singh Chauhan as a Chief Minister. I don't think so there will be any other political, ups and downs in Madhya Pradesh because of this coronavirus. The whole machinery will be engaged, opposition as well as ruling party. I'm sure everyone will be engaged in dealing with this crisis. So let's wait and watch. But this is the reason I'm discussing this particular editorial with you guys, is because we have already talked about this thing. It's not this particular item, but let me give you a brief. It all started with this Jyotiraditya Scindia leaving Congress and joining BJP. Since then, this item is in news. And defection, we have talked about defection, we have talked about Speaker's role, how Supreme Court has expressed its concerns regarding Speaker's role. We have talked about SR Bomai case as well. So I'm sure regular students, many things about this whole thing. So this is just an update, yet important update. In fact, not just update, I would say it's a milestone. The story will continue in future. Ironing out wrinkles in India's pandemic response. Very interesting article. I found so many interesting facts in this article. Like, first of all, it is important to remember that the vast majority, or 80% of COVID-19 cases will be mild. Fact number 1. Second thing, estimated mortality varies considerably, maximum 3%, minimum 0.25%. Particularly elderly people, they are the most vulnerable, and all those who are suffering from respiratory diseases and things, they are the most vulnerable to this coronavirus. Now, if we follow mathematical models, then there are high chances. As per this mathematical models, they are saying that we are going to face, in the sense India is going to face severe cases of coronavirus in future. But the thing is, lockdown, this current lockdown and social distancing, this can change the situation. If we stick to it, then this will protect us. Things are moving a little bit. The speed is not that much, but it is increasing, or the numbers are increasing. With this lockdown, I'm sure it will flatten and then it will drop down. But for that, every one of us has to play our own important role. Now, there are so many cases, as we have already discussed, that there are so many mild cases. They have gone undetected, and there are so many people that we need to test. And I'm sure this latest news item that we have talked about, that we got one private company. They have developed this kit. So we are going to see its mass production, and more people will be tested. So this will help us. Let's hope that this will help us. The other challenge that we are going to face now is we will find regional and sub-regional disease hotspots. For example, Maharashtra. As per the latest news, there are 100 plus cases of coronavirus in Maharashtra. So it will be limited in few districts. Let's say I'm just going to draw here a few districts, right? So let's understand with the help of these boxes. So just imagine you have few districts sharing borders with each other. So let's say you have this district and this district, or this state. You can take it as a state as well, or district as well. So just imagine that these two places, these two districts or states, they have this coronavirus. So the best thing that we can do is to keep it in that particular, to limit itself, or let's say to create a boundary around this coronavirus affected region. Other states or other districts, they have to share their resources like doctors, other medical equipments and other things. So what we need to create an emergency ecosystem where various different states will share things with each other if required, or districts, they will share things with each other if required. Now, if we go through some interesting facts, right, then India has around 70 hospital beds and 2.3 ICU beds per 1 lakh people. Per 1 lakh people, 2.3 ICU beds. Let's say maximum 3 ICU beds per 1 lakh people. China, in comparison, has 420 hospital beds and 3.6, so let's say 4 ICU beds. Italy, 340 hospital beds and roughly speaking 13 ICU beds. But then as well, these countries, this both China and Italy, the situation of Italy, right? Every day, the latest figure was 700 people passed away, I think yesterday or day before yesterday. If they are having this sort of facilities, but then as well they are not able to tackle it. So just imagine if we don't stay indoors, what will happen with our country? We are more populated, more densely populated than China. We are, absolutely, you can imagine it, the population of Italy and population of India. So these are the things. So it is critically important that India puts in place a strategy to ramp up hospital and ICU capacity. A few days ago, we were talking about this expert who said that it is important that, we create all these facilities, or overreacting is okay rather than not reacting. To put it, very simply, it is okay to overreact. When I say overreact, I'm not talking about, being in a panic mode. When I say overreact, I mean to say that if we are creating more ad hoc makeshift hospitals and more beds and more ventilators, then that's okay. After this whole coronavirus wave is gone, if we have not used this, let's say thousands and thousands of beds or so many hospitals, ad hoc hospitals, if we have not used them, that's okay. That loss is acceptable. But not taking an action now is something that is not acceptable. So this is one of the most important things. So we need to do everything that is possible to create hand gloves, sanitizers, ventilators, other personal protective equipment and other things that can be used by healthcare workers and by medical facilities or medical personnel. Healthcare workers are critical resources for COVID-19 response, and we have to look after our healthcare personnel as well. And we have to make sure that we don't overburden our hospitals. We have to make sure that they have all those protective things, right? And South Korea and Singapore, they were able to control the spread and mortality due to this health force, or I would say medical force, right? This medical force was equipped with everything that is possible. Guidance was provided, leadership was provided. So we need to do the same thing. A few more facts as far as doctors are concerned. Per 1,000 population, we have 3.4 qualified doctors. Let's say 4 doctors. Nurses and midwives, we have 4. Compare this figure with Italy and China. China has 18 doctors per 10,000 population, and 23 nurses per 10,000 population. Italy, 41 doctors and 59 nurses. Then as well, you know the situation of these two nations. Health workers in India are mostly concentrated in urban areas, and the problem is in our country, right, we have this disparities between various states. So this 3.2 doctors per 1,000 population is something that we find in Kerala but not in Bihar. Engaging primary care providers, and this is a very interesting you can say idea coming from this article, that primary healthcare providers, all those local doctors that we have in our mohallas or in our society, now this local doctors, they know people by their face, they know people by their name, because these doctors, they have been there, they are there for like a very long period of time now. So if someone is not well, then this doctor is chances are that he or she would be knowing who is not well. So action should be taken, or action in the sense that that person should go through a test. Then we should supply all these equipments to this local doctor so that he or she can take whatever steps are required to deal with this thing. Medicines and other things should be provided. If there are a few things that are working, then this doctors should be equipped with all these things so that this thing can be controlled. Because primary care providers will encounter patients in early stages or with mild forms of disease, they play a crucial role in treating and referring patients. Healthcare worker safety is also important, and we have to make sure that we have a proper personal protective equipment like masks, gloves, gowns, eyewear, etc. And this should be provided to, these items should be provided to all these workers. Moving on to next item, death by fireworks. Unsafe working conditions and improper handling of inflammable raw material is one of the main reasons why we find this sort of deaths. And this item is on our table is because of this latest news that in Tamil Nadu, 11 workers were charred at a firework unit. And this is not the first time this sort of thing has happened in this Shivakasi region. Shivakasi is known as a hub for global fireworks. If we go through police data, then it shows that in past decade, in roughly 10 years, 239 people have lost their lives, 265 got severe injuries, and 142 incidents have taken place in this firework units that you find in this Shivakasi region. And one of the main reasons is illegal cracker units are also rampant over here. Health and safety rules and regulations are not followed. If you go through this major courses, then manufacturing of firecrackers in makeshift unlicensed units, rough handling of chemicals by untrained and unskilled workers, a spillage or overloading of chemicals during the filling, and working outside permitted areas. Earlier on, we have seen cases like people working in this industry, this firework industry, smoking cigarettes right outside this firecracker factories. Can you believe that thing? Then you find small kids are working in this firecracker factories. And health and safety, there's nothing like that. Right? Of course, there are a few licensed firecracker manufacturers, like they follow things, but it's not that strict. Right, and there are so many illegal factories as well. They are there. So first of all, what we need is, I think, this industry should self-regulate. All these licensed firecracker workers or factories, they should set up a union, and they should make sure that, because they would be knowing in and out about industry, who's doing what, isn't it? They would be well aware about this sort of things. So formal jobs should be provided. No job without training. If you don't have training, then no. If you want, you can increase the price of firecracker. People will pay extra for, because at the end of the day, firecracker is not a sort of essential commodity, isn't it? We use it for celebration and things. So people will pay 5-10 rupees extra for your item. But you have to make sure that you have proper standard operating procedure, exit door, entry door, making sure that people who have this bad habit of smoking cigarettes, that they don't find job here in this industry, right? It's very important. You cannot have there are so many things that you have to care about, like your whole electricity wiring. There should not be any sort of fire because of this wiring, and there are so many things that they should do, and all these things are mentioned in this Chaitanya Prasad committee that took this whole work of recommending what are the things we need to do after this 2012 big Om Shakti fireworks industries incident. Chaitanya Prasad committee came out with its recommendation. By only following this committee's recommendation, we can solve, I think, 90% plus problem of this industry. Occasional accidents are going to be there. They are inevitable. But their probability, we can reduce its probability by implementing the recommendations of this Chaitanya committee. Moving on to last portion, news items. Ensure tight surveillance has been said by has been said to states by central government. Central government has warned of an increasing trend of COVID-19 cases, 519 active ones by Tuesday evening, and I think the death toll has crossed 10. Government extends tax deadlines to 30. Yesterday, Nirmala Sitharaman ji she was there for a press conference, and the deadline for filing income tax and GST returns have been extended to 30th June. The changes had been promoted by the shutdown of large parts of the country. Bank account holders would not be charged extra for using debit card to withdraw money from ATMs or other banks for next 3 months. Charges for not meeting minimum balance requirements would be waived. Bank charges or digital transactions were also being reduced. Tokyo Olympics has been shifted for 2021. It was going to take place on 24th July, between 24th July and 9th August, but now it's going to take place. The date is not given, but it's going to be postponed to 2021. Over 400 detained in Gujarat. This is a shame, right? That after this much declaration, people are loitering out there. 118 labs ready to test for COVID-19. This is a very good news coming from shared by ICMR, that we have 118 more labs they are ready to test for. So the more tests we can do, the more results we can produce. Results in the sense that if we know whether someone is positive, negative, if we have this report, then this will help us in fight against this coronavirus. And the last item is that Labour Ministry urges CMs, chief ministers, to pay workers directly in their account. Right, funds should be released directly into the accounts of this construction workers and other workers using the cess collected by their buildings and other workers' welfare boards. And that's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video. Do spread the positive message. Do spread the right information. Stay away from rumors and don't panic. It's important that every one of us, stay indoors and use your time wisely. God bless you all. Jai Hind.